Traveling abroad is always exciting. But when things go wrong at the last minute, it can turn into a nightmare. And that's exactly what happened to Mohammad Alzafar Zia, an Indian origin techie based in Sweden. Zia was visiting India and had booked a domestic IndiGo flight from Ranchi to Delhi, flight 6E5062. His plan was simple: land in Delhi and after a few hours catch his Air India flight to Sweden. He had almost 3 hours between the two flights, which most travelers would agree is a safe gap, right? But life had other plans. The trouble started when Zia's Ranchi to Delhi flight got delayed by nearly 1 hour 50 minutes. Instead of reaching Delhi by 11:20 am as scheduled, it landed much later. His international Air India flight to Sweden was supposed to take off at 2:10 pm, and because of this particular delay, he missed his connection. Now, missing an international flight is not a small thing. It's not like missing a bus or a local train where you catch the next one very easily. Rebooking international flight at the last minute can cost a fortune. In Jia's case, it costed him about 50,000 rupees, which included the cost of rebooking his Air India flight ticket, a hotel stay for a night, and even a day's loss of salary abroad. Frustrated, Jia shared his story on LinkedIn, hoping that somebody would at least listen. He posted screenshots of his booking to show that he wasn't exaggerating. He also explained how he tried reaching out to both Air India and IndiGo staff at the Delhi airport. Unfortunately, he claimed that the airport staff was indifferent and just handed him an email ID to raise his complaint. Later, when he contacted IndiGo, the response that he received was nothing more than a standard copy-paste message blaming air traffic congestion. Now, this brings up a bigger issue, and one that many Indians who travel internationally should be aware of. Even if you have a 3 hour gap between flights, it's not always enough when flying domestically within India. Delays are common, specifically due to factors like bad weather, air traffic congestion, or operational issue. According to DGCA data, more than 25% of domestic flights in India face some delay. Peak hours like morning and evenings are the worst. Another point travelers often miss is domestic airlines in India are not responsible if you miss an international connection, unless you book the entire trip on a single PNR, that is passenger name record, or through an official agreement. If you book domestic and international tickets separately, airlines treat them as two unrelated journeys. Here, Jia's case show how risky it can be, specifically if you're flying on separate tickets. And even though Jia had almost 3 hours gap between the flights, delays beyond an hour can create a ripple effect and longer security lines, terminal changes, immigration checks, and boarding deadlines all adding up. In his viral post, Jia rightly asked if passengers are not even allowed to board if they are 5 minutes late. Why are airlines not held equally responsible when they delay flights by hours? Many passengers reading this post agreed. Some even shared his own horror stories of missed wedding, visa interviews, or family emergency because of similar delays. In the meantime, IndiGo, in their official response, said that they regretted the inconvenience but blamed air traffic and maintained that it was beyond their control. However, Jia insisted that passengers should at least be compensated fairly when the airline's delays cause heavy financial loss. He also mentioned that he may take legal action through a customer court if it is necessary. So, what can Indian travelers learn from this incident? First, if your international journey depends on a domestic flight, always plan for a longer layover, at least 5 to 6 hours, specifically in busy airports like Delhi, Mumbai, or Bangalore. Second, try booking your domestic and international flights under a single PNR through an airline's website or a travel agent. This way, if your first flight is delayed, the airline has a legal obligation to help you rebook or compensate. Third, always keep proofs: tickets, boarding passes, delayed certificates, and communication record always ready. These documents become very important if you want to file a complaint later on. And lastly, it's very important for passengers in India to know that what exactly are their rights. DGCA guidelines say that for domestic flights, airlines should compensate passengers if the delay is beyond a certain limit. But separately booked flight, it gets really complicated. Awareness is the first step towards demanding fair treatment. Jia's story reminds us all that while air travel has become common in India, airline accountability has not caught up. If you ever face a similar situation, don't hesitate to raise your voice, whether on social media, consumer forum, or through legal means. Every passenger deserves respect, transparency, and fairness.